This here is the new Mercedes-Benz GLC in its electric version, and together we'll find out what it's capable of. And with that, hey and welcome to this new video here with Jonas, and welcome to another premiere from the IAA, the Mercedes GLC, the SUV on the same platform as the Mercedes CLA, the hope in the field of electric mobility with some new technology on board, and I can show it to you in this video here. There are a few more exciting videos coming up from the IAA. If you don't want to miss it, then feel free to subscribe for free below the video to the channel. Then you won't miss a thing when videos like this go live, and it supports my work without costing you anything at all. So click subscribe below the video, and now let's take a look at it. Let's start with the new design, and it looks very similar to the new CLA, even though they intentionally made several changes to various elements here, especially at the front with the large grille. The main headlights prominently emphasize the Mercedes-Benz 9-star light signature, further accentuated by the bold and distinctive design of the hood. But I think the lower area, the transition to the side, already resembles the combustion engine GLC, and then comes the rear. That's very independent. When I first saw the image, I thought, hey, that almost looks like a Mazda, particularly with the taillight design and arrangement. When you take a closer look, it has a unique feel to it, and the interpretation of the Mercedes-Benz logo's design really stands out quite clearly and distinctly. Existing circles and these connecting elements leading towards the center, this large black band, feel free to drop a comment and let us know what you think about it. I do think the rear section looks quite bulky and heavy. Maybe it's also because of the color in this particular footage. In terms of dimensions, the car is 4.85 meters long, 84 millimeters longer than the combustion model, and with a width of 1.91 meters and a height of 1.64 meters, it really is one of the larger SUVs. Just for comparison, the competitors are almost 10 centimeters shorter, for example, the iX3 at 4.78 meters or the Audi Q6 at 4.77 meters. Those two always have to be used as a reference. The grille is available with an optional backlight featuring 942 light points, complemented by an illuminated Mercedes-Benz logo and an illuminated border as well. I'm super excited to hear your feedback on the grille. Mercedes themselves say that this is the new design language and that it's groundbreaking for all future models. I find it very intriguing, and that's somewhat the concept behind the luxury segment where Mercedes was aiming to position itself. The grille just screams for attention. The adjacent main headlights come optionally with digital light featuring micro LED technology. They are supposed to use 50% less energy than their predecessors. The high beam now also includes a cornering light, and it can even project images onto the road. Now let's check the trunk. It offers 570 liters, which is much larger than the competitors. The Q6 at 526 liters and the iX3 at 520 liters, so the added length really makes a difference here. Additionally, there's a 128-liter frunk that can be conveniently opened with a touch control system. Here, for example, the Q6 has only 64 liters and the iX3 comes in at 58, so you can really talk about a good-sized frunk here where you can actually store a decent amount of stuff. Like the Energy Kick, my go-to mobile charger, just toss it all in, adapters and everything included with it. You can definitely do that here without any worries, and I would even imagine that it could work perfectly with the carrying case. With the Energy Kick, you can charge at home with PV or even cleverly bill your company car. It replaces your wall box, and you can take it with you as an AC charging cable. So it's an all-in-one solution, and below the video you can save 5%. Mercedes specifies the towing capacity as 2.4 tons. This sets it apart from the two competitors, and the vehicle is produced with incentives. For many, it's indeed an important aspect. In reality, the vehicle looks completely different. Not just because I can hardly capture this light violet color on camera here in the studio atmosphere, no, but also because it feels a bit different when it comes to its overall size and proportions. It's not quite as round as it appeared in the footage. The black band here in the back matches very, very well with this high gloss down here, and it's a classic Mercedes, you just have to say that. Chrome in many places, chrome here in the logo, and then for instance the Mercedes emblem here once more, really large and prominently displayed. The front grille really feels quite different when you're standing right in front of it. Region specific, by the way, it also lights up quite differently. In Europe, the star here only glows in the inner silhouette section. For America, for example, the entire circle is allowed to light up. Mercedes specifically emphasized that because then the entire Mercedes logo can shine. It's not only the star. For Europe, the illuminated area is simply too large. as if there wasn't already enough light here. Let's
Currently,
get to the important points, the technical details. 360 kilowatts of power, so 483 horsepower. And with that, 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds and a top speed of 210 kilometers per hour for the GLC 404 MATIC variant, which will be available at the start. The all-wheel drive achieves 713 kilometers according to WLTP, and optionally, there's air suspension in the technology package, so it's not included as standard. Equally optional is rear axle steering with a 4.5-degree adjustment angle. Nevertheless, the car has a specified turning circle of 12.10 meters. That seems a bit high to me, especially when you consider the fact that the rear axle can actually be steered here. Additionally, there's a 2-speed transmission on the rear axle. This is intended to ensure that even at higher speeds, you still achieve low consumption values. Since the WLTP cycle only marginally includes higher speeds, I'm really curious to see how this plays out in everyday driving on the highway. That's coming up on this channel soon, so be sure to subscribe and stay updated. For charging, Mercedes continues with the 800-volt platform and a 94 kilowatt-hour battery, similar to the CLA. This makes it nearly identical to the Audi Q6, but 14 kilowatt-hours smaller than the newly introduced iX3, which I was able to show you just the other day. It boasts a charging capacity of 330 kilowatts and now includes a 400-volt converter as standard in certain countries like Germany, for example. This means you can charge at 400-volt and 800-volt stations, taking 22 minutes to go from 10% to 80% at 330 kilowatts. Additionally, the car is vehicle-to-load, vehicle-to-home, and vehicle-to-grid. There is no Mercedes wallbox yet, nor any announcements about it. BMW was clearly faster there, but the car can at least do it, and it comes standard with 11 kilowatts and optionally 22 kilowatts AC. Mercedes also promises a lot when it comes to driving. The assistance systems are said to have been upgraded, becoming even more predictive and versatile than before. Additionally, there's a new one-box braking system. It can now also do what's called one-pedal driving. I'm always a big fan of being able to recuperate energy all the way to a complete stop. The one-box brake can smoothly and seamlessly alternate between actual braking and energy recuperation at the same time, ensuring the driver remains completely unaware of the entire process. If it works as it should, I'm really looking forward to taking it for that first test drive. And another key point to mention, the heat pump comes as standard. To make a truly fair comparison, I would need the price. Mercedes hasn't disclosed that information yet. It's expected to be orderable by the end of the year and then available in the first half of 2026. I'd guess it's more in the range of an Audi Q6, so in the all-wheel drive version starting around 75,000 euros, and it's not going to make that drastic price drop that BMW managed with the iX3, where they simply positioned the car, specifically in the all-wheel drive version to directly compete with this one, at 68,000 euros. And I almost bet that this one will be similarly more expensive, just like the Audi is. I don't know how BMW manages it, but somehow they're able to push the prices down accordingly. What price point would you consider fair for the car, given its technical specs? Feel free to write it down in the comments below. Now let's shift focus to the interior, where you can clearly see quite a lot has changed. Mercedes themselves say that the material feel should have significantly improved, as well as the layout. Now there are 2 cup holders in the center console, 2 inductive charging pads, a few hotkeys underneath, and a new steering wheel with a toggle for the limiter on the left and a roller for the volume on the right. The interior incorporates several soft touch elements, but you can still control the screens using touch gestures as well. These come optionally with a 99.3 centimeter long, 39.1 inch MBUX hyperscreen, which incorporates advanced matrix backlight technology for significantly better contrast and much deeper black levels. But that's only optional, this massive display you can see here. In the series, there are 3 separate screens under one glass panel, with the right one functioning solely as a digital picture frame. You can't make any changes there. It's designed to display only screensavers or your own personal images. I'm really curious to see how that will turn out. The new hyperscreen is undeniably more stylish, combining everything into a single display, and I believe most people will probably opt for that option in the end. There are still 40 different apps, along with video and music streaming and many other features, and I'm really curious to see how the performance of this thing holds up, especially in the production models. When you actually try it out and use it in everyday life, it looks futuristic, and on top of that, there are higher quality materials, for example, in the air vents. It all has a very, very premium feel to it. The seats available in their different configurations are all certified by the Action Gesunder Rücken. And there's an optional, fully vegan interior available, which is also officially certified, specifically by the Vegan Society, so Mercedes-Benz ensures that everything is externally verified and consistently implemented across the board. Additionally, there's more secondary material. Yes, that means you're essentially giving up on new materials and aim to increase the use of recycled materials. In the second row of seats, There is a 40-20-40 split with a standard electrically foldable rear bench, and of course, the interior space has also been enlarged. Since there is more vehicle length on the outside, there is 13 millimeters more legroom in the first row and 47 millimeters more in the second row, but there is also more headroom for the driver and passengers. 46 millimeters in the front and 17 millimeters in the rear. Do you actually feel the difference? I'm not sure. I've never been in a standard GLC, so I can't tell if those extra 40 millimeters here are truly beneficial. I can, however, compare it to other vehicles. The seats in the front are currently adjusted quite far back. And yet I have plenty of knee room here. My feet fit nicely under the front seat, and I have a really comfortable seating position back here. Unfortunately, the rear bench isn't adjustable. But I have here, let me also show this at this point, a center armrest including these well-known double retractable cup holders from Mercedes. What you won't find here is an adjustment for a third climate unit. That means you only get a 2-zone climate, but the material assumption back here is really sensible. Only down here it's made of hard plastic. Same up front, with door pockets fully in hard plastic. Honestly, everyone in this segment has it now, like the Q6 iX3 or the GLC. I really don't care, I never have my hand there, and honestly, what are you even doing down in the door pocket? The seat is now adjusted to how I was just sitting in the back. If I move it forward now, you'll see live how much travel I need to get into a comfortable seating position for someone my size, which is 5 feet 9 inches. So, this is how it is here, and I have to say the seats are really good and everything I touch here feels solid and well made. Only down at the very bottom does it get hard again, but it's really a cool cockpit. Seeing this live again, you can be transparent about it in the video. A lot of the material in this video I put together from footage, as you've likely noticed. And now, to also have that direct first impression here with these different ambiances, which seamlessly carry through the entire vehicle due to the thoughtfully designed backgrounds. Really high quality adjusters here for the air vents, along with ventilated phone trays up front and of course the hotkeys we just discussed earlier. That's nicely executed. The center console is placed high and is already quite wide, so my knee is now touching it a bit, but it's all within reason. And I have to say they really nailed the seating position and ergonomics, and that they adjusted it here I find a bit of a shame because contrary to my initial that they changed this, I find a bit of a shame because unlike my first impression, it's gone. Now I can still control the center screen via the steering wheel, but it's now exclusively for the driver info display. And another topic. The steering wheel adjusts electrically, and the adjustment is directly on the steering column lever. And also here it's truly a high quality interior. In recent years they've really refocused on the idea that it can also be executed in a premium way with attention to detail. And one more thing, the optional glass roof can be adjusted here in the panels exactly as you'd like it. And there are stars that are illuminated inside based on the ambient lighting. And having a starry sky and a glass roof at the same time, I think it's a good compromise. And what do you think about the new GLC, particularly the updated look of Mercedes? I'm really eager to hear your thoughts in the comments below. For me, it's genuinely a fantastic car. I'm just really curious to see where the price will eventually land, but both the range you can get out of the battery, the technical specs behind it, and the interior design are all truly promising. I was just told that there's another distinct feature with the displays, and I really wanted to make sure to mention it to you. So, on one hand, there's this base version with the co-driver display where you can't do anything. Then there's the super screen, which is kind of in between, designed so that the co-driver can also use the screen. And then there's the HYPERSCREEN, featured in this video, with rear axle steering that reduces the turning circle to 11.20 meters instead of 12.10 meters. They were for the version without it. Choosing rear axle steering also includes air suspension or the other way around. I'm curious what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and otherwise you can see the direct competition from BMW up here, which will make it very challenging for them. Make sure to subscribe below if you haven't done so yet.